Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Classified Captures. Steve here, and today we've got a wild lineup of clips ranging from UFO sightings to never-before-seen footage of a turnip growing in the shape of a human leg. Today's episode is one you wouldn't want to miss a second of. Let's dive right in. So this is a recent clip of one of Elon's events from SpaceX. All of Elon's events are special, but what made this one particularly special is the fact that President-elect Donald Trump was present. When you look at the clip, does something seem a little off to you? No? Okay, well let's take a look at President-elect Donald Trump. Does he seem a little, different? Well, many individuals who saw the clip believe that's not Trump. According to them, while the individual does pass for a convincing fake, his body language and looks disqualify him from being the real Donald Trump. Some suspect he's got a body double, whereas others are thinking Trump and the upper echelon of society have access to people that are capable of shapeshifting into anyone and anything. You've seen the clip. What do you think is going on here? Do they have a point, or are they seeing things that aren't there? Speaking of seeing things that aren't there, take a look at this. Just in case you're wondering, this footage was captured by a security cam at an undisclosed location. It starts off unimpressive as there's nothing going on in the clip. That's at least the case until this black shadow passes through the area. It doesn't look like a shadow of something about the area. Instead, the shadow is almost tangible and appears to be moving with intent. Also, bear in mind that this is a slowed down footage, which means it was definitely moving rather quickly. Once this clip was uploaded online, opinions were divided. Some refused to believe it was real. A majority, on the other hand, believed this was the real deal. Almost all who believed it was real felt we were dealing with a shadow creature. What do you also think? Now, who comes to mind when you see this? The big guy, right? This clip was uploaded on a popular Bigfoot and Sasquatch platform. According to the individual who uploaded it, it was filmed near Blue Ridge, Georgia. For those unfamiliar with the location, Blue Ridge, Georgia and its surrounding areas in the Appalachian Mountains are known for Bigfoot sightings and stories. Looking at this clip, I can see why. Starting off with the side profile, we're able to see the silhouette of the creature and some eyeshine. This eyeshine isn't present all the time, but it's present enough at the right times for you to see it. The fact that it's not there all the time made all who saw it believe the creature was looking around and gave some authenticity to the clip. Moving from there, the individual filming actually followed the being, for lack of better words, Bigfoot, and it led to a face-off. There were some grunts and aggressive displays here and there to get the one filming to stop following. After seeing a little of that display, he decides it's a good thing to return. Before he loses sight of the big guy, he takes a clip and shows the big guy walking away. He even grabs and releases a branch. This, to many, shows that the creature is indeed real and not someone in a costume. Still on the big guy, what do you make of this second clip? Now, this was recorded in Colorado by a hunter on a hunting trip. He notices a big being staring at him from the distance, which puts him on the alert. A few minutes later, a bull moose comes strolling along, and it looks like the big being or creature is caught between dealing with the moose or keeping eyes on the hunter. Before we get into the argument of whether this is Bigfoot or not, you have to understand that a moose is not a small animal. For it to look that tiny next to the being, then it definitely has to be a rather large animal. Naturally, when this hit the internet, many suspected and believed the big creature was Bigfoot. There were some who disputed, but that weren't taken seriously. Personally, I'm also tempted to believe that this is the real deal, but what about you guys? What do you think of this? Let's hear your thoughts in the comments section. Still on cryptids and creatures of the night, take a look at this one. This appears to have been captured by the security cam of someone's property. Not sure if it's a home or business because the individual who shared it didn't add a lot of information and context. He or she did that for safety purposes. Moving on, if you pay attention to the clip, you see what looks like a humanoid creature approaching the property from the bushes. The individual who shared the clip insists it's a rake, and many who saw it believe it to be so. Given what we know about rakes, it makes sense for them to think that's what we're dealing with here. But allow me to play the devil's advocate for a bit. What if I told you I didn't think this was a rake? Why am I saying this, you might ask? Well, I can be the only one who thinks that this particular humanoid moves more like a human trying not to come off as human, right? The gait movements are eerily reminiscent of human movements, and that just doesn't sit right with me. We've shared rake clips before here and there, and all those clips featured unnatural movements. Then again, this might just be me being overcritical. You guys have seen the clip as well, so what do you think? Next up, we've got a clip featuring a demon. Enjoy.
Right here, watch here. Watch the wall.
The clip opens up with a group of people gathered in one place. It's allegedly a riot, but that's not the focus. No, take a look at the wall to the right. Do you see it? There's a creature moving on the wall, and the individual who uploaded this clip believes it's a demon. In fact, once the clip went up, people had questions, and some even had suggestions. One wondered if it came out of one of the rioters. Another called it a djinn and stated he had seen them in the woods. That didn't, however, stop some from being skeptical about the whole thing. You've seen the clip, so what do you think?
Right here, watch here. Watch the wall.
When I first saw this, I assumed it was a siren atop a police vehicle or something. That was until I got further information that this was in the sky, and I confirmed it myself. The only thing that came to mind when I saw this was UFO. We've seen an increase in their activity, which brought me to this conclusion. Julius, on the other hand, thinks I'm just being ridiculous. If you're new here, Julius is our science whiz who's skeptical about all things paranormal. It's probably some drone or possibly an aircraft in the sky. I get where he's coming from, but guys, given the current state of affairs in the world now, does a UFO sound impossible? Definitely a no, given the fact that the one who was there and saw it believes it's a UFO. Anyway, what do you guys also think? Ever since the congressional hearings stated that UFOs and UAPs may exist, stories that have to do with aliens and the like are getting revisited. And I didn't see why we shouldn't visit the alien Peru story. For those unfamiliar with it, Peru alien refers to small humanoid mummies discovered in Nazca, Peru, in 2017 and claimed to be extraterrestrial due to their elongated skulls, three-fingered hands, and alleged age of over 1,000 years. Recently, however, they have started cutting up these mummies to investigate. Their fingerprints and thumbprints already point to the fact that they're not human. They have even allegedly found chips in some of them. Presented by journalist Jaime Moussin, these remains sparked global intrigue but were widely debunked by scientists as hoaxes, likely fabricated using human and animal bones or explained by ancient cultural practices like cranial deformation. Newer mummies have been found in Mexico with similar descriptions, though. This has left many wondering if these were the original beings that the fakes were made from. I have questions too, but first, what do you guys think of this? What you're looking at is not a leech, it's a groundbreaking medical invention developed in Zurich. This device offers an alternative to traditional blood sampling methods, particularly for those who fear needles. It's shaped like a small futuristic tube, and it uses microneedles and tiny suction cups to draw blood without causing the pain associated with standard needles. The microneedles are so small that they only reach the outermost layer of skin, making the process virtually painless. This innovation can transform how blood samples are collected, offering a stress-free experience for those who dread the sight of a needle. What do you think? Would you give it a try? We have featured a lot of humanoids on this channel, but not sure we featured a translucent one. Wondering what I'm talking about? Well, pay attention to the clip on your screen. Did you see it? No? Oh, what about if we switch up the view? Do you see it now? The individual who sent this in was walking through a dark area where he felt he was not alone. That's what led him to turn around and turn his camera on while walking. Sure enough, he couldn't really see what he was dealing with, but he could hear it. He somehow made it to safety to his destination and then shared the clip with friends and family. It took a tech whiz to uncover that which was hiding in plain sight. Can't even imagine how he would feel using that stretch at night now, especially if it's only the route available. A hunter set up a trail camera throughout the forest, hoping to capture wildlife. When he retrieved the footage, he found something shocking. The video shows a massive creature walking on two legs, seemingly in a hurry, as if running from something unseen. Its towering frame and gait resemble the classic description of Bigfoot. Enthusiasts claim this footage has not been tampered with, adding to the growing collection of alleged Bigfoot sightings. Experts, on the other hand, are very skeptical. What do you think? Could this finally be solid evidence of Bigfoot's existence, or are the experts right? Share your thoughts in the comments section.
There's this picture on my dad's phone, and it's really scary, and they think it's the last thing he's gonna see before he dies. This just showed up on his phone out of nowhere. It says January 30th, 2027, and no one knows where this picture was taken from or what it's of. He doesn't remember taking this picture.
The subject of time travel has been an endless debate. Some believe we already have access to such technology, while others dismiss it as pure fiction. Now, take a look at this peculiar footage. A young woman came across a strange photo on her father's phone. The image was a stunning view of a sunset overlooking a serene body of water surrounded by trees. The scene was beautiful, but there was something odd about it. The date on the photo read January the 30th, 2027. I don't know when this video was done, but as of now, we're still in 2024, so how could this be possible? The father, when asked about it, had no recollection of the photo or the location it depicted. This has sparked a variety of theories. Some people think the date is a chilling omen, suggesting the man might pass away before that date. Others speculate that the man somehow time-traveled and captured this image in the future. But if he doesn't remember taking the photograph, what could really be going on here?
There's this picture on my dad's phone, and it's really scary, and they think it's the last thing he's gonna see before he dies. This just showed up on his phone out of nowhere. It says January 30th, 2027, and no one knows where this picture was taken from or what it's of. He doesn't remember taking this picture.
You know, the questions people normally ask when they're in love, like, if I were a fish, would you love me? Or, what animal would you want to be? I believe the smart answer may be jellyfish, and this is why. The jellyfish, often dubbed the immortal jellyfish, is the only known species considered biologically immortal. Specifically, Turritopsis dournhill. Found in oceans worldwide, these tiny transparent creatures possess a remarkable ability to cheat death by reverting to an earlier stage of their life cycle. When faced with stress, injury, or aging, the jellyfish can transform its adult cells back into immature polyp cells, essentially starting its life anew. This process, known as transdifferentiation, allows the jellyfish to theoretically bypass natural death, though it can still fall prey to predators or disease. This extraordinary biological reset has made Turritopsis dournhill a subject of fascination and study, as scientists hope to unlock secrets that could inform human aging and regenerative medicine. While its potential for immortality is remarkable, it's not without limits, as the jellyfish remains vulnerable to environmental threats. Still, its unique adaptation has positioned it as a symbol of nature's ingenuity and the tantalizing possibilities of biological immortality. Maybe, instead of searching for the fountain of youth, our priority should be decoding the DNA and unlocking this for ourselves. I need to speak to Julius about this one. Next, we got a group of boat riders who had a chilling encounter in the middle of the sea. Out of nowhere, they noticed a massive wave heading toward them, created by something moving rapidly beneath the surface. Whatever it was never broke the surface, remaining an anonymous presence underwater. The sheer size of the wave and speed at which it traveled left the group baffled and unsettled. Could it have been a large marine creature like a whale or a shark, or perhaps something more mysterious, a giant squid, an undiscovered deep-sea species, or even a man-made underwater craft? What do you think could have caused such a powerful disturbance? Moving on, a man woke up one morning to find something bizarre in his front yard, a rock floating in the air.
This rock was floating here this morning. I thought, that's weird. But it's attached by a spider web.
According to him, he'd noticed the same thing the previous day and knocked the rock to the ground. Yet when he came out that morning, it was back in the air floating again. On closer inspection, the rock was attached to a spider web. While the web might explain how the rock was suspended given its size, it's not unusual for it to appear to float so effortlessly. The real mystery, however, is how it ended up back in the air after being knocked down the day before.
This rock was floating here this morning. I thought, that's weird. But it's attached by a spider web.
A group of friends ventured into the jungle for a thrilling motorbike ride, weaving in a line through the dense, towering trees. Suddenly, the group came to an abrupt halt. One of them pulled out a camera and began filming. While the reason for their sudden stop wasn't immediately clear, all eyes quickly shifted to the last rider in the group. Something unusual was unfolding. Out of nowhere, an animal emerged from the trees and leapt on one of the riders. The person filming was moving around in panic, making it hard to see the animal. But the group was visibly alarmed. They worked together to get the animal off their friend. From the footage, you could spot a long, swishing tail which suggested it might have been a big cat. The video also ends abruptly, so I hope everyone made it out safely. Jungles and forests are territories for wild animals, so it's crucial to exercise caution when out there. But what animal do you think that was? What do you guys make of this? Those are clearly shadows moving over the compound. The individual who uploaded this clip insists there were no objects moving above the place. She thinks they're shadow creatures. She's talking about some sort of dimensional rift, allowing these beings in and out of their dimension of plane. I must say the words are persuasive, convincing, and a little scary. I want to hear your thoughts on this one. What do you think? Here's an extraordinary piece of footage captured by a hiker exploring a remote cave. Deep inside, the hiker came face to face with a massive black bear. The animal is seen staring intently at the person filming, its dark eyes locked on them as though trying to decipher whether to approach or retreat. The bear's size and presence are intimidating, and the tension is palpable in the footage. Thankfully, it seems the encounter didn't escalate as the hiker slowly backed away without provoking the animal. This is a stark reminder of the risks involved in venturing into wildlife territory. Always take precaution, remain calm, and respect these majestic creatures in their natural habitat. What do you think the bear was thinking about this tense standoff? This footage was shared by a man from Turkey who loves fishing and often vlogs his trips and adventures. One day, he decided to fish at the Ketoran Dam late at night. He set up his spot, lit candles along the bank, and positioned his camera to capture the experience. After casting his net, he spotted something huge moving in the water. Excited, he thought he'd caught a big fish. He waded into the water to pull the net, but then the catch began to struggle. That's when he realized it wasn't a fish at all. It was a humanoid figure. Terrified, he started swimming back to shore, but the creature kept pulling him further into the water. Thankfully, he managed to escape and reach safety. To this day, the man has no idea what he encountered. Some speculate it could have been a mermaid or an unknown sea creature.
Yes. Okay, here's Bigfoot. We got him on camera.
I'm no zoologist, but even I know that's definitely not a bear. A brother and sister were at home staring into the woods close to them, and they noticed the big guy taking a stroll. Excited, they started recording and kept repeating that they finally had found Bigfoot on camera. Unless they paid someone to wear a costume, walk around the woods and pretend, I'm pretty sure that these guys have succeeded in achieving every little child's dream: capturing Bigfoot. The creature has all the right body proportions to fit our big guy. We can't really tell its actual size given the distance. I mean, Julius could probably do that, so let's not scratch that out. If we take out the size consideration, I'm tempted to say everything else fits. What do you guys think also? Is this really Bigfoot? Let's hear your thoughts in the comments section.
Yes. Yes. Okay, here's Bigfoot. We got him on camera.
Am I tripping? Or did all the pine cones land straight up?
I'm all for coincidence, but this one doesn't feel like it. Have you ever walked by a pine tree and seen all its pine cones land straight up? The one who uploaded this clip doesn't think so and is leaning toward a glitch. I love glitches, but I don't know if this qualifies as one. What do you guys think?
Am I tripping? Or did all the pine cones land straight up?
TikTok is all for crazy trends, and this particular one caught our attention. They start off by pouring superglue, followed by red onion, and finally shampoo. Once everything is in there, you stir and boom, fire. Looks interesting, and I almost tried it till Julius asked me to really pay attention to the clip, and that was where the gasolines and a lighter is at play. It took me a while, but I finally saw it. Do you see it, or did you also believe this was legit and real? Stepping away from that, imagine you're moving through the woods with your friend when you hear rustling leaves behind you. Scared, you run away and hide, and then this shows up. Can you see it? It looks like our big guy. Well, a version of our big guy, and he's huge. The guys insist that it's real, and Aaron believes them. Just in case you're wondering, this is taken in Jefferson County, Pennsylvania, USA. The paranormal community is divided about this clip, though. Some believe it's the real deal, whereas others think it's a wild attempt for 5 minutes of fame. But what's your pick? This is something I don't have words for. How does this happen? At least those were my initial words when I first saw this. I told everyone around me this had to be fake, or there had to be some mistake. I was getting ready to do my commentary when an intern here with us showed us a news article online explaining the clip. This was allegedly created by a farming couple who used silicone to create molds in the shape of their feet and then planted turnips using these molds. As the turnips grew, they grew into this shape, and the rest, they say, is history. Am I glad there aren't turnips out there growing up shaped like human parts? Yes, does their ingenuity intrigue me? Yes, but in the end, it's each to his own, right? If you thought the chances of a nuclear war were slim, then you probably haven't heard that Sweden is telling its citizens to prepare for it. For those hearing it for the first time, Sweden has issued a renewed call for its citizens to prepare for emergencies, including the possibility of war, by distributing an updated version of its survival guide if crisis or war comes. This guide, sent to over 5 million households, is a comprehensive resource aimed at equipping people to handle crises like military conflicts, cyber attacks, and natural disasters. It provides practical steps such as stockpiling essential supplies like food and water and preparing mentally for extreme scenarios, including potential nuclear threats. This move is part of Sweden's broader efforts to bolster national security amidst rising global tensions, particularly following its decision to join NATO alongside Finland after Russia's invasion of Ukraine in 2022. This guide has been revised to reflect modern threats, and Swedish authorities emphasize the importance of citizens' readiness for unexpected challenges. Scary times, right?
I'm here in 1956. As you can tell behind me, I'm at McDonald's, guys. How do you deny this proof? Let me show you something. This is going to blow your freaking mind.
If you're confused, don't be. The young man in this clip claims to have time traveled to the 1950s and is recording this as evidence of his time travel. We see some popular brands today in what looks like the first versions of their modern designs. Naturally, this left the internet divided. Some think it's the real deal, whereas others think he's just messing with us. Some have called him out for being in California. Others think he's on a set. Which do you think the truth is?
I'm here in 1956. As you can tell behind me, I'm at McDonald's, guys. How do you deny this proof? Let me show you something. This is going to blow your freaking mind.
Skinwalker, gorilla, beast. What do you think we're looking at? Personally, when I started this clip, I didn't know what to make of it. That was at least until the little girl walked in. That's when I confirmed that there was no way it was something ominous. Sure enough, the animal drops a few seconds later and we realize it's a dog. Imagine walking into this at night. You may surely run away and record this and tell us there's a skinwalker in your home. A new innovative approach to burial is gaining attention. A mycelium coffin, also known as the world's first living coffin. Mycelium is the root structure of fungi known for its ability to decompose organic matter and enrich the soil. This groundbreaking coffin is designed to naturally accelerate the decomposition process while nourishing the earth. Unlike traditional coffins made of materials like wood or metal that can take decades to break down, the mycelium coffin can fully decompose within 30 to 45 days. Additionally, it reduces the environmental impact of burials, making it a more sustainable choice. This concept challenges our long-standing burial traditions. What do you think about this eco-friendly innovation? Would you consider it for yourself or a loved one? This eerie footage from South Africa shows a man walking slowly in the middle of a busy road. At first glance, it seems like he might be a lost or mentally ill person oblivious to the traffic rushing around him. However, something truly bizarre happened. The cars appeared to pass right through the man as if he wasn't solid. The man filming the scene was left stunned. Whatever was on the road was not human. Many have speculated that it could be the wandering spirit of someone who lost their life in a road accident, eternally walking the spot where tragedy struck. What do you think? What do we have here? A strange-looking bird. It was found in the woods by some kids, and it caught everyone's attention with its distinctive features. The bird's head had what looked like cat-like ears, and its glossy pink eyes give it an otherworldly appearance. When it opened its mouth wide, it seemed ready to cry out, but strangely no sound came. This bird looks like something out of a fantasy book, but it's actually a real animal called the great-eared nightjar. Native to parts of South Asia, this bird is good at camouflaging seamlessly into its surroundings during the day. Its unique appearance, especially those ear-like tufts, make it one of the most fascinating birds you will ever come across. A security camera captured a peculiar incident in a community. The footage shows a figure resembling a woman with long black hair holding a white arm-length stick. She walks quickly in one direction, then appears on another monitor. Once there, she performs an odd action. She taps one end of the stick on the ground twice, then flips it and taps the other end in the same manner. After finishing this ritual-like act, she calmly walks away. This strange behavior has sparked speculation. Could it be part of some ritual tied to witchcraft, black magic, or even voodoo? Such practices often involve symbolic gestures, but what exactly was she doing remains a mystery. Do you have any theories? Could it be cultural, spiritual, or something else entirely? In this pond filled with young fish, one stands out from the rest. It's a fish with 3 heads. While the others appear perfectly normal, this particular fish exhibits an unusual mutation. Such deformities can result from genetic mutations, environmental pollutants, or exposure to chemicals during the fish's early development. In some cases, these mutations are harmless oddities, while in others they can affect the creature's survival and well-being. What are your thoughts on this phenomenon? A man shared footage of an unusual and otherworldly creature, sparking curiosity and disbelief online. At first glance, it looks like some sort of plastic object. It's transparent, with a jelly-like body with blue tinges and a balloon-like tip floating atop a bowl. Some thought it might be AI-generated footage due to its bizarre appearance. However, after some digging, it turns out this is not artificial, it's an actual living creature called the Portuguese man-o'-war. Despite its jellyfish-like appearance, it's not a single organism, but a colonial organism made up of individual specialized creatures working together. The Portuguese man-o'-war is infamous for its venomous tentacles, which can deflect painful and potential harmful stings. Its unique structure and floating mechanisms make it one of the ocean's most fascinating creatures. But why was such a venomous thing in his mail? I'm not really sure, but it looks like someone's out to get him.
So I asked ChatGPT a simple question. What are the chances of moss growing into the shape of a gnome? And you know what it said? It said it's almost impossible. But guess what? We've got some mind-blowing footage straight from the woods that defies all odds. A lady was out exploring the woods when she came across this mass of moss shaped like a gnome. Naturally, this caught her attention and she tried to take a closer look. Little did she know that this is where things took an eerie turn. She swore the moss moved and looked at her. Unfortunately, the video doesn't really capture the movement, leaving us desperate for a glimpse of this mysterious moss gnome in action. Could it be that the moss didn't move at all, or the video quality is so poor that we can't spot the subtle movements of the moss? Whatever the case, we can't help but wonder how the moss grew into that shape. Is that a hint that gnomes are actually real? Could she have been exploring an area where they live? Share your thoughts with us as well as any encounters with them in the comments section. Returning to our Trailcam videos, at first glance, this Trailcam capture appears to be an innocent shot of the horizon with a raccoon running around the field. But take a second look and you'll notice something intriguing, an array of lights illuminating the sky. What could those lights possibly be? The owner of the trail camera was just as clueless as everyone else. However, upon sharing the capture with others, a common suspicion emerged. It had to be aliens. The next capture, which shows the lights descending closer to the ground, only solidified this belief among all who witnessed it. But could this be aliens, though? The scientific community, always eager to burst the bubble of paranormal enthusiasts, proposes two explanations. The first is that it could be a satellite, but this hesitation was revised due to the movement of the lights. The second theory suggests that the lights might be cobwebs. Interestingly, other Trailcam users tend to agree with the cobwebs theory. But what do you think? Cobwebs or aliens? Let us know in the comments section. Many vast lands have gone to waste and don't seem to be wanted for keeps either, and the one in the next footage is no exception. The video showcases extensive plots of land marked with soil uplifts and incomplete grazing activities. Among the trees stands a figure dressed in stark white attire, so blindingly white that it's impossible to overlook. It remains stationary, its towering height standing out. Beyond its stature, little can be discerned about its other physical attributes. There's a belief that it might be connected to the numerous murder cases documented in the area. Some even suggest it's the spirit of one of the victims killed in the area. Looking at it, however, I believe there's more to the story than we're being let in on. Instead of a lost spirit, I'd want us to consider another possibility. It's a witch. If that's a far stretch, then possibly a member of a secret cult operating in the area. Before you dismiss it, take a good look at the figure in the footage. Do you not see that there's something ominous with it? Well, looks like the webbed tree is not the only shocker for the day. Check out this footage. This footage was captured by a crew of loggers who were cutting down some oaks in the Alabama woodlands. They had done this so many times that it had almost become second nature to them. They always knew what to expect and how to navigate them. But what you see on your screen is not something they anticipated. If you're wondering what you're seeing, allow me to put you out of that stress. The creature you see on your screen is nothing more than a mummified dog. There's no telling how it ended up there, but we can make some intelligent guesses. The poor canine probably wandered into the woods chasing a rabbit and got stuck in the tree trunk. It couldn't wiggle itself out of the tree and ended up starving to death. No matter how you look at it, that's a horrible way to go, but instead of decaying, the tree preserved its body. This discovery got the world talking, and the mummified dog was put in a museum and named Stucky. Fascinating, isn't it? Now, which one of you knows which museum the dog was placed in? Tell us in the comments section. Morse code revolutionized. Morse code revolutionized communication with the invention of the telegraph, but have you ever wondered what forms of communication spirits and otherworldly creatures might use? Up until now, we didn't have an answer, but that all changed when we came across this astonishing trail cam footage. Take a closer look at the footage. What do you see? Notice that ghostly being that fades in and out of reality. Now, take a closer look. There's a second one, too. What if these apparitions aren't just fading in and out randomly? What if each fade in and fade out and the duration of each phase carries a profound meaning? What if it's a form of spiritual Morse code? I know it might sound far-fetched, but consider this. There's so much we still don't understand about the paranormal, and when you watch this footage, there's simply no other way to explain what's happening. It's a mind-boggling mystery begging for explanation. Imagine stumbling upon laminated posters of missing persons eerily taped to trees in a secluded and rarely visited part of the woods. How would you know how to react? I know I would panic and quickly get out of there. But against all instincts, the owner of this footage felt an irresistible urge to document the chilling sight, pulling out his camera to capture what lay before him. As he filmed, a wave of fear washed over him, gradually realizing that these were not random postings, but deliberate placements by an unknown individual. How recent, he couldn't tell, but he rushed out of the place to get to the police. The police swiftly arrived at the scene, investigating the situation, collecting evidence, and questioning James, the owner of the footage. Surprisingly, they seemed unfazed, dismissing it as a harmless Halloween prank. Given that it was early October, they assumed that it was an extreme Halloween prank or something despite the undeniable reality of the missing persons depicted on the posters. James returned to the area after a few months to investigate the site. In this subsequent return to the area, James made a bone-chilling second discovery. The missing person posters had been replaced with ominous no trespassing notes. This confirmed his suspicions. There was absolutely no way this could have been an elaborate Halloween prank. James could have also sworn that the laminated posters he saw must have been there for months before he discovered the site. To him, coming across them before Halloween was merely a coincidence. But what do you think? Do you think James is making a big deal out of nothing, or could something sinister be going on? Perhaps a serial killer at large in the woods? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section.
Celebrities have always got to have security on them wherever they go for obvious reasons, but has the thought of a superhuman body ever crossed your mind? This footage is taken of the football legend Messi. Fans saw him and were gathering around to take pictures. At first, it looks like he's walking alone until out of nowhere, his bodyguard appears rushing toward him. Take a look at the footage again. Did you see that? It's like he just materialized out of nowhere. Is this a glitch in the Matrix, or is there a more logical explanation? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. On Christmas morning, a family gathered around the Christmas tree to unravel their gifts. This little girl was so excited and jumping up and down when she realized that she'd been gifted a miniature Minnie Mouse couch. As she was screaming with joy, someone was filming the whole thing, probably having in mind to document this happy family time. However, as the family revisits the footage to relive the joyous occasion, an unsettling revelation surfaces. The eyes of the Minnie Mouse on the couch, seemingly innocuous at first, appear to blink. Could it be a mischievous spirit, or perhaps a holiday prank from a mischievous elf that brought Minnie Mouse to life for a brief and eerie moment? It's hard to put a finger on it, but you have also seen the footage. What do you think is happening here?
Can we call this video a comic relief moment? While it's true that an unexpected animal falling into the water can often be amusing, it becomes challenging to label it as such when we witness the panic and concern of the calf's parents. Even the elephants in the neighboring pen are displaying signs of worry. This footage reveals a side of these magnificent creatures that many don't often get to see. Yes, they're large and powerful, but they also possess an incredible level of empathy, an aspect this video perfectly exemplifies. You think that was disturbing? Well, it pales compared to what we will show you next. What would you say about this Trailcam's footage of a man weirdly moving through the forest? On second thought, no, that's definitely not how humans move. If you look closely at the Trailcam footage, a figure that resembles a man suddenly emerges from the darkness, moving in an unsettling way. He heads to where the Trailcam is stationed. I'm sure I'm not the only one who thought he was rocking back and forth unnaturally whilst moving. As the figure, or man, or whatever you might think it is, gets closer, we can see that he's actually moving along the ground on his knees instead of on his feet. Weird. Could it be an otherworldly creature that spawned into ours and is now learning to use the human body, or could it simply be an elaborate plan by someone who knows that the Trailcam stationed there simply to try to scare its owner? Personally, I believe that the creature we're seeing in this footage is not of this world because it's very unlikely that someone would go to such lengths to scare the owner of a trail cam in the middle of the night deep in the woods. I highly doubt it, but tell us what you think in the comments section.
After a short break from the big guy, it sounds like we've got another chapter in the ongoing saga of Bigfoot sightings. In a recent encounter, a group of friends found themselves driving through the night near a wooded area. All was going smoothly until their car's headlights unveiled a mysterious figure concealed among the trees. The creature in question matched the classic descriptions of a Bigfoot, towering at a height of 7 to 8 feet, covered in thick black fur, and possessing robust arms wrapped around a substantial tree, a distinctive hallmark of these mysterious beings. Despite being noticed by the occupants of the car, the creature appeared nonchalant, sparing them only a casual glance or two before maintaining its stance in the shadows of the night. Do you think this is a genuine encounter with the creature of myth and legend, or perhaps just a hairy wanderer minding its own business? Venturing into the heart of the forest in the dead of night, an individual encounters an eerie revelation. A pair of glowing eyes appeared behind a tree, staring right at him. The eyes were red, and he believed it could be a rake or skinwalker. Undeterred by the ominous atmosphere and instinctual fear, the person made a bold choice to venture deeper into the woods, driven by the desire to unravel the mystery behind those glowing eyes. The unsettling encounter took an unexpected turn as the mysterious creature, sensing the man's presence, promptly retreated into the shadows. Come to think of it, if it was any of the creatures mentioned, would they have attacked the person or run, looking at how lost they were? This makes others think that the creature was probably a raccoon or that the whole thing was a hoax. Even Aaron, the skinwalker expert, shares this sentiment. What about you?
Everyone knows that life in the wild is a survival game. You either do your best to survive or you become someone's family dinner, and this deer knows that too well. At first glance, you'd be forgiven to assuming that the deer we're about to witness has met its untimely demise, but prepare to have your assumptions challenged. Those hunting it got close and realized it was not. Yes, they'd shot it, yes, it was bleeding, and yes, it was down, but it was not yet out. When they got close enough to take pictures and afterwards carry the spoils of their hunt home, the deer sprang up and ran. Could it have been pretending so it was left alone? Could it have been in shock and just jumped up when they got close? Would it even survive at all? If you're an experienced hunter, we'd love to hear your insights on this captivating scenario. Join the discussion and share your thoughts with us. Imagine venturing through the dark and unfamiliar woods at night with the knowledge that a sinister creature is stalking your every move. Now picture lifting your eyes and coming face to face with a chilling sight like this, a distant figure with glowing eyes. I don't know about you, but personally, I made it abundantly clear on this channel that I'm not one to stick around and find out what such a creature looks like or whether it poses a danger. I'm grabbing my belongings and getting the hell out of there without hesitation. The individuals who captured this footage were simply clueless about the creature's identity. Based on the knowledge of mythology and a careful examination of the video, I'm highly convinced that the group in question were being stalked by a specter. If this entity is indeed a specter, as my team and I believe, then those who encountered it are incredibly fortunate to have escaped with their lives at all. The mystique of Bigfoot continues. In the world of cryptids and enigmatic creatures, Bigfoot or Sasquatch holds a special place, and this image adds another layer to the enduring mystery. The footage opens us up to a forest where we've got some dense bushes, and there, right in the midst of it all, is a figure with brown fur with its back turned to the camera. Now the speculation begins. Some adventurous souls suggest that what we are seeing here is none other than the elusive Sasquatch crouched down on the ground. After all, these creatures are known for their significant size. But wait, there's a twist in the tale. This particular one is much smaller compared to what our expectation of a Sasquatch is. Some members of the paranormal community have suggested that the footage might not be a Bigfoot at all. Instead, they've suggested it might be a rare capture of the monkey people, an entirely different species of cryptid. Are you familiar with these species, or do we need to do a special episode on them? Tell us if you'd want that in the comments section. We'd be reading. If you haven't hit the like and subscribe buttons yet, this would be a good time to do so. We've got so much content in store for you, and we wouldn't want you to miss any. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Now, back to today's episode. It's unknown where exactly this was captured, but let's stick to the obvious. Amidst a densely remote forest, which appears like an area rarely frequented by people, with tall, bare trees standing without leaves. In this very area, though, stands a figure, defying the known essence of these woods. A woman of uncertain age, hair deeply parted to the left, much like my vantage point. She dons a blue top under a lengthy coral pink jacket adorned with black stripe-like patterns. By all standards, this image should be fine. But no, it's rather unsettling. She stands in a weird posture, wearing a face and look that can only be described as sinister. A video clip would have presented it with greater clarity. Her face, ghostly pale, resembles a mask akin to Pennywise from the film It. As if she's possessed by a malevolent spirit. But why? She looks like an innocent young girl with a future much brighter than the contrast in that photo. Or is that what the spirit in her wants me to think? Well, I don't know anymore. It might as well be a hoax, meaning I'm simply thinking too much of it. But what do you think? This footage may not have been captured by a Trailcam, but let me assure you it's just as intriguing as anything you'd see in the wild. Imagine waking up to find your compound in disarray, with trash scattered everywhere. That's exactly what happened to this family. Curiosity piqued, they turned to their security camera footage for answers, and what they saw left them utterly stunned. At first glance, they thought it was a wild animal, perhaps a bear. But as they closely examined the video, they realized that they were witnessing something far more extraordinary, a wolf with a human-like body emerging from their neighbor's property. What made it even more chilling was the fact that the previous night had been a full moon. Could they be living in the close proximity of an actual werewolf? The family couldn't say for sure, but they decided to share the footage online, hoping someone could confirm their suspicions. However, uploading the footage may not have been the best move. Now, if their neighbor truly is a werewolf, he knows that they're onto his trail. Who knows how much longer they have before he decides to act in a peculiar manner. As you watch the footage, I'd like to hear your thoughts. What do you make of this mysterious encounter? Personally, I can't help but feel that uploading the footage may have put the family in greater danger. Now let's dive back into the captivating world of Bigfoot. Picture this. Residents of Seattle suddenly find themselves haunted by eerie and unexplainable noises echoing from deep within the nearby woods. For those who lived close to the woods, the sounds were nothing short of bone-chilling, striking fear and unease into the hearts of those who dwelled close to the woods. At first, many speculated that these mysterious sounds might be the work of bears. However, this notion was swiftly discarded, as what they were hearing was more ominous and much louder than anything they're accustomed to hearing bears make. What then could be responsible? The answer is in the footage you see currently. If you look closely, you'll see a dark, humanoid yet ape-like creature trying to get away, knowing that it might have been spotted. Although the residents managed to capture additional footage, it's been heavily zoomed in, adding to the challenge of deciphering the enigmatic figure within. The residents, however, know what they had seen. They understood why the sounds they heard were so ominous. There was a new big boy in town, and his name was Bigfoot. Speaking of Bigfoot, a 12-year-old boy saw a Yeti on a camping trip in the Kemerovo Mountains in Siberia. The The Kemerovo Mountains in Siberia are renowned as a hotspot for Yeti sightings. The young boy said he was taking a morning walk with some of the kids when he spotted the magnificent creature with brown fur and brown eyes like a human. Following the boy's sighting, the campers stumbled upon tracks left by the mysterious creature near the campsite. Strangely, no one heard anything unusual during the time the creature was presumed to have passed by. The tracks of the creature were double the size of an adult human's, pointing to the fact that the boy's account was true. He really saw a Bigfoot. Such a lucky kid. Next, we have a rather bizarre capture from a trail cam, if I do say so myself. Have a look. The captured footage unveils a landscape teeming with lush trees and verdant grass enveloping the expansive terrain. In the capture, we see what looks like a shadowy figure moving through the environment. Its form and shape change as it moves, almost as though it's trying to materialize from another plane. Is that even a logical thing to say? Well, if you asked me some months ago before the start of this channel, I would have said yes, but looking at all the things we have encountered up to date, I guess not. Only one question remains, however. Is it authentic? Now, that's a question that's hard to answer. A part of me thinks this could be real, but then again, another part of me knows AI is capable of producing images as photorealistic as this. So I ask you, what do you think is happening in this Trailcam capture? When this image was sent to us, I thought we were dealing with a stick bug. That was at least until I took a critical look at the whole image and realized it was neither a stick bug nor the size of one. I've no idea why I thought that, because we can see a coyote running away from it. The owner of the trail camera was equally perplexed by the footage. They couldn't make sense of what they were seeing and decided to seek answers. After conducting extensive research for days, they came up empty-handed. There doesn't seem to be any mythical creature resembling this peculiar being. Could this be an entirely new form of otherworldly creature? Where did it come from? Why is it here? What does it want? And most intriguingly, why is the coyote running? Is this creature a threat to coyotes, or does it have a taste for even humans? The truth is, we simply don't know. However, our quest for answers won't cease until we have unraveled this enigma. Rest assured, once we uncover the mystery, we'll dedicate an entire video to it. If you haven't already subscribed to our channel, now is the perfect time to join the adventure. Subscribe and make sure to hit that notification bell as well, so you'll be the first to know when we upload the exclusive new videos. If you walked into the woods and saw men whiter or paler than usual, you'd surely think that there was something wrong with them. You're even likely to think ghost or a vampire. But what happens when it's not humans or animals that you have seemingly gone white? More specifically, turkeys. Well, there are two types of responses. The first is awe and wonder at the magnificence and uniqueness of these birds, which many might share. Picture this. I'm out exploring these mysterious woods, and suddenly I stumble upon a flock of white turkeys feeding. Can you blame me for feeling a surge of adrenaline? I certainly think that my life was in danger. The scientific community does not think that anything strange or paranormal is happening here. Instead, they believe the turkeys we're seeing are suffering from an uncommon mutation known as leucism, which is known to result in reduced pigmentation, giving birds white or patchy feathers. This explanation does seem logical, although part of me still wants to embrace the mysterious and paranormal. But what do you think, though? Have you had any experience with birds of this nature?
It's been a while, but I thought we'd bring back the bonus segment this year. This is where you watch the footage and accurately describe what you think you're seeing. Now that the explanation is out of the way, what do you think this creature is? If you believe you know, simply write it down in the comment section. Start with the comment bonus, and then tell us what it is and why you think it's so. We pick out the best comment and feature it in our next episode. All the best. Just a quick reminder before the next clip comes, if you still haven't liked, commented, or subscribed, could you do so right now? You wouldn't want me to send Mr. Bigfoot after you now, would you? I thought as much. Takes us to the aftermath of a heavy snowstorm in Europe in 2014, where a man walking his dog stumbled upon a bizarre sight in a frozen pond. In the middle of the icy expanse, there's a peculiar sight. A hole that seems to be breathing, with water rhythmically flowing in and out of some strange tentacle-like creature-looking thing moving around the hole. And to make it worse, there was a reddish fluid in the center also moving as the hole pulsated. This enigmatic occurrence sparked various interpretations and speculations. Some suggested that it could be a natural process, proposing that the red color might be attributed to mineral deposits, possibly iron. Others proposed more fantastical explanations, such as the idea of lava breaching from below, causing a slow pulsating effect that melted the ice in the pond. But that doesn't explain those tentacle-looking things in the water. That's where our next theory comes in. Some say this could be the rare water sarlacc. But that's quite the pill to swallow. Having seen it yourself, what do you think this could be? An ordinary and natural process, a geothermal display, or the icy lair of the mythical water sarlacc?
If you're someone who believes that fairies belong solely to the realm of fairy tales, then you might want to rethink that notion after watching this astonishing Trailcam footage. Take a good look. Doesn't it resemble a fairy gracefully lifting off? The size seems just about right, and the video doesn't appear to be edited. Even experts seem to agree with this assessment. Could this be the actual first ever real-life footage of a fairy? It's a mind-boggling possibility. However, as usual, the scientific community, the ever-vigilant skeptics, don't seem to share our view. They always find a way to discredit and dampen the excitement of every paranormal discovery we stumble upon. And, well, who can blame them? So what's their explanation this time? According to them, the phenomenon captured in the footage is attributed to a large Luna moth. These creatures are typically green in color, but since the Trailcam footage is in black and white, we can't definitively say if it's a Luna moth or not, but it probably is. But here's the big question. Could this be the real deal or a genuine fairy caught on camera? I thoroughly doubt it. It's more likely just a Luna moth, as the scientific community insists. We eagerly await your thoughts and opinions. Share them in the comments section below. What would you do when you were walking in the woods and you came across this? At first glance, you might think that it's an odd-looking deer, but after a few seconds, you're likely to be spooked by the figure. It looks like a deer, yet its features are disproportionate and, quite frankly, disturbing and ungodly. The individual who captured this footage believed he was looking at some mutated or heavily deformed deer. Some even believed he could have been dealing with an otherworldly creature. The logical and non-believers in the supernatural believe that this is nothing more than a decoy. For those unaware, hunters like to create dummy versions of deer whenever they're hunting to attract other deers. Yes, that's a thing, and it does work. But there's no way this could be one of those. Or is there? We want to hear your theories. What do you think this strange creature could be?
Buckle up for this next one as we journey into the realms of the extraterrestrial, because we got another UFO tale to unpack. The footage introduces us to a car cruising along with something mysterious covered in black polythene on top of it. While the rational mind may suggest that the mysterious cargo could be an ordinary object or perhaps a toy or some machinery, the allure of the unknown persists. A toy won't have such an entourage, and you have to agree that the mysterious cargo looks suspiciously like a saucer. But then again, why would the government transport a saucer via road in such a package when they know people can easily pick it up? That doesn't add up, which makes the whole thing a tad mysterious and confusing. Many keep trying to say what they think it might be, but no one can say for sure what it really is. So what's your take on this out-of-this-world encounter? Are we witnessing a close encounter of the playful kind, a cosmic joyride, or just a top-secret delivery from the intergalactic toy emporium? Feel free to let your imagination soar and share your best wild theories. While embarking on a seemingly ordinary boat ride, an unsuspecting Facebook user stumbled upon something rather intriguing. After sharing the video of his wild adventure on social media, an observant viewer drew the attention of the uploader to a curious presence in the water. Upon closer examination, you can make out a pair of human-like arms and the head of black hair. The mysterious entity navigates the river with an uncanny agility, swimming at a pace that defies conventional expectations. If it were a human, the need for air would require resurfacing, yet the creature continues its aquatic ballet beneath the surface. This has led us, including Aaron, the skinwalker lover, to entertain the idea that the boat stumbled upon a real-life mermaid. Now, the question remains, was it just enjoying a leisurely swim beneath the waves, or was there a more sinister reason? I guess we'll never know.
This image was posted by a man online. At first glance, it looks like a harmless photo of a tourist capturing and documenting his travels. But look again. Do you see it? There's an ape-like creature just behind the man. As expected, everyone who saw the image couldn't help but draw the man's attention to the creature captured in this photo. He had taken the picture in the Parana Delta area, and according to him, the particular area he took that picture is known by the locals to have ape-like creatures that are as common as they are elusive in that area. Well, you can imagine the excitement that sparked amongst Bigfoot enthusiasts who were wondering if the elusive creature could be there as well. Well, Bigfoot has been linked to North America. Not many has considered its presence in South America until now. Turns out that's a mistake, as there was a lot of evidence in South America about the existence of Bigfoot. Early settlers and explorers of the region had encountered strange, hairy, and giant men and named their towns after them, like Patagonia, which is not too far from where the picture was taken. Patagonia had the largest variations of these creatures, which we suspect to be Bigfoot. But let me tell you, these larger variations of the creature are even more elusive, and can you blame them? They are probably Bigfoot after all. Perhaps it's time to unite Bigfoot enthusiasts from around the world in an international Bigfoot convention. Who knows what we might uncover about these mysterious creatures from the various civilizations. Have you ever had the chance to encounter a skunk ape? If your answer is no, you're definitely not alone. Personally, I hadn't even heard of these creatures until I stumbled upon this incredible Trailcam video. Apparently, they're a variation of Bigfoot dwelling deep within the swamps of Florida. Talk about discovering something wild, right? These elusive creatures have a preference for solitude, and they're said to reach a towering height of at least 8 feet. If that doesn't scream Bigfoot, well, I don't know what would. The footage you're witnessing was captured nearly a decade ago, adding to the intrigue and mystery surrounding these fascinating beings. Have you ever heard of or encountered a skunk ape before? We're genuinely curious and eager to know your stories. Now let's move to the sea. With about 5% of the sea explored, we aren't certain of all the creatures, both big and small, that live in it. But why does that matter? For an answer, watch this footage. There in the middle of the ocean, a horned creature emerges from the depth. The creature resembles a dragon, and you can't help but wonder how that's even possible. You see it too, right? A supposed creature of the sea no one has seen. As expected, we did a thorough scrutiny of the footage and realized that the thing was not real in any way. It's just some good CGI. When I first saw the footage, it got me thinking that humanity was doomed. But thank God there's no cause for alarm and it's not real. Or is it? Share your thoughts in the comments section. Moving away from Bigfoot, yet remaining in the strange and mysterious, let's take a look at this strange footage from a trail cam situated in the heart of the forest. In the footage, you can see the stillness of the night being disturbed by a blurry image moving from a distance toward the camera. As the movement gets closer, you realize that it's some kind of pale head shrouded in a dark cloth. The figure appears to be tightly wrapped in dark cloth, which brings to mind a mummy. What or who could this be? Could it be a peculiar person engaged in a ritual, or perhaps an elusive entity wandering the forest? It's hard to say. There's also the possibility of it simply being an elaborate hoax. Which of these possibilities are you more inclined to lean towards? Tell us in the comments section. Normally, rabbits and hares are prey for snakes, which is what makes this footage incredibly captivating. Despite lacking built-in mechanisms to deal with snakes, the rabbits or hare in this video was putting up a fierce defense, determined to keep the snakes away from its territory. It makes you wonder, could there be young ones nearby? Is the brave rabbit or hare doing everything it can to protect its vulnerable offspring from harm? The maternal instincts of these animals can be truly remarkable. Have you witnessed similar behavior in rabbits or hares before? Share your stories in the comments section. Also, can you confirm if it's a hare or a rabbit? I always mix them up. If there's one thing the Bigfoot and Sasquatch family hate, it's being caught on camera. But despite their aversion, we've a captivating Trailcam capture to show you. Take a close look and you'll notice a blurry image of a white ape-like creature. Now, can you guess where this intriguing image was taken from? It's a challenging one, and I doubt anyone got it right. Brace yourself for the surprise. It was actually taken from none other than the City of Portland's official website, portland.gov. But here's the twist. They've refused to disclose the exact location where the Trailcam captured this fascinating Bigfoot. The reason? To protect the creature, of course. So what do you think? Could there really be a Bigfoot roaming out there? Or is this all part of an elaborate marketing ploy to lure us to visit Portland? And why is it that whenever anybody captures pictures of Bigfoot or photographs or videos of Bigfoot, the images are always blurry? I'm eager to hear your thoughts. In this next footage, we have a man who claims to own the body parts of a Bigfoot his father shot and killed years ago. According to him, the creature was so massive that they had no suitable space to preserve the entire body intact, so they resorted to cutting it into pieces for preservation. Here we can see him displaying the severed arm of the said Bigfoot. The arm, covered in brown fur, looks incredibly realistic. The palm looks human, but has this animalistic look to it, and it's very big. It's distinctly different from chimps, monkeys, or gorillas. Do you believe it is indeed the arm of a Bigfoot, or do you think it's simply a prop? We'd love to hear your take and thoughts. What do we have here? Behold, a hand fidgeting with a Trailcam. You've heard curiosity killed the cat, but this hand's owner seems unfazed. As darkness cloaks the day and masks the identity, this hand doesn't exude fear. If anything, it screams for a manicure. Gnarled and unclipped nails, maybe even a stray hair or two. I mean, it looks like the hand of an unkempt hunter aiming for the headlines by activating the Trailcam's infrared light. If that's not the scenario you had in mind, then I suspect Bigfoot took the spot, and I can't blame you. Considering the nails and gnarls, it makes sense after all, but this just screams fake. I'm sorry, a part of me wanted to believe it could be, but clearly it's not. It just seems too out of character for the big guy, but what do you think? Could it really be a Bigfoot looking for a potential hand model, or is this just a bad attempt to go viral with Bigfoot footage? Share your thoughts in the comments section, as we'd love to read it.
I came across an interesting take from a little boy on TikTok. He was asked whether he believes in bad spirits, and his response was quite thought-provoking. Take a look.
Well, kind of. They're not really spirits. So basically when, let's say, like, something happened, the energy of that event will create, like, its own entity. It will start going around the room. And this also happens in space, too. This can happen on any planet. This is not only for Earth. This can happen on any planet. So when something bad happens, the energy from it will start circulating, and then it will start creating an orb, and then the orb becomes an entity, and then it starts learning from the thing. But then, since it's a low vibration, then that's basically why haunted house are haunted.
So it's energy created from
Trauma.
Trauma?
Yeah, trauma.
Okay, so when something really bad happens, that energy creates an orb energy, which creates almost as if it's an identity?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And then it thinks it is.
It does.
But the energy is the only thing that's living, but it's not really living at the same time.
The bad energy, the negative spirits, are what is caused by human energy.
Yes. And not just human, like this happens on any planet. Like
Okay.
it's not just for humans. Humans are not the main species. They're not the main alien species.
Wow, that is
So,
such an interesting
Just remember
perspective.
that for every question we do. So, what would you guys want me to answer next?
Did you hear that? He explained that when something bad happens, it creates negative energy like an orb. This orb then becomes an entity that lingers around the place where the incident occurred. According to him, this is why there are haunted houses and places the bad energy from the trauma creates an entity. It's such an odd take, but when you think about it, it makes sense. The idea that negative experiences can leave behind residual energy is a concept many people find intriguing. But how did a child come up with such an insightful explanation? It's mind-blowing. What do you think about this theory? Could bad events really create lingering entities? Share your thoughts. Some Bigfoot hunters ventured into the woods one night in search of the elusive creature, but were stunned to encounter what they believed was a fairy. Take a look.
Tell you what,
Down in there would be cool.
that's what I'm thinking. We'd have to take one time, be careful.
Oh my gosh.
Of course, we need to get out in the house. It's a little different.
In the darkness behind the trees, a small glowing creature could be seen flying or moving. It was larger than a firefly, but still small in size. The men who were experienced Bigfoot hunters claimed to have frequently seen these glowing creatures during their expeditions and firmly believe that they're fairies. Imagine being out in the dark woods searching for one legendary creature and stumbling upon something equally mysterious. These hunters were baffled and thrilled by their findings, but not everyone shared their enthusiasm. Some think they just came across a rodent, while some say they're only seeing the things they want to see. You guys have seen the clip too. What do you think?
Tell you what,
Down in there would be cool.
that's what I'm thinking. We'd have to take one time, be careful.
Oh my gosh.
Of course, we need to get out in the house. It's a little different.
In this next footage, an unseen observer behind the camera captures a scene that, if genuine, prompts unsettling inquiries about government actions and the possible concealment of extraterrestrial technology. In the video, we can see what looks like a saucer being moved to somewhere unknown. In an age marked by ongoing speculation about encounters with aliens, the image of a saucer-shaped craft being transported adds fuel to the enduring discussion on government secrecy and further deepens the mystery, raising questions about the extent of the government's knowledge and its role in keeping such information under wraps. As much as I'd love to believe the government was truly transporting a saucer, even I know that they won't transport such a thing publicly and in broad daylight. This has to be some of the worst thought-out fakes we've ever come across, don't you think? If you haven't already hit the like button, subscribed, or even dropped a comment so far, could you please do so now? It goes a long way to help us make more videos like this for you. Thank you so much. Now back to today's episode. In a bizarre and unexplained event caught on video, a cat steals the spotlight by seemingly defying the laws of physics. The feline casually walks through a solid wall, leaving viewers puzzled and prompting questions of reality. This anomaly sparks speculation among those who witnessed the footage, prompting a range of theories from glitches in the recording to the presence of a ghostly or supernatural entity. Australia never fails to surprise with its abundance of unique wildlife, and a recent video captured at Bali Point is a testament to that. In the footage, a kangaroo was spotted taking an unexpected dip in the ocean, venturing out for a swim amidst the rolling waves. This sight may have seemed out of the ordinary for those accustomed to seeing kangaroos hopping across dry landscapes. While kangaroos are not typically associated with swimming, they are known to enter water bodies to cool off or escape predators when necessary. So basically, they can swim, but that doesn't explain the behavior in this clip. That got me thinking and researching. It turns out the kangaroos can actually lure predators into water bodies and drown them if they follow them in. Sounds dark, I know, but that's Mama Nature for you. The big question now is that what this kangaroo was trying to do? In this next footage, originating from a temple in India, a unique and seemingly unconventional ritual unfolds, leaving observers both fascinating and bewildered. The worshippers engage in a practice that involves rolling on the ground until reaching a specific hole. Once at the hole, they proceed to put their heads inside and contort their bodies in a manner. This leaves us wondering if this form of worship was a sacred practice specific to this temple, or perhaps a ritual with deeper spiritual significance for those there. While it may look bizarre to outsiders like us, there's the possibility that it holds some profound meaning, driving all the participants involved to do so. In this mesmerizing sky footage, against the backdrop of a serene blue sky and elegant clouds, an unusual phenomena unfolds. We see the clouds move in a rather unorthodox manner, which leaves all who witnessed it with lots of questions. It's almost as though the clouds become sentient. Before you entertain all sorts of thoughts, allow me to say, don't be alarmed. What you're seeing could be a fascinating weather phenomenon called the crown flash. Now, let me break it down. Sunlight passes through small ice crystals above a cumulonimbus cloud. These crystals align with the cloud's electric field. When lightning strikes the cloud, it reorients the ice crystals, resulting in the unique and surreal crown flash effect. Almost like the clouds made their disco light show. But is that what's happening here? Well, I think I'll let you decide on that. A group of fishermen were out on a boat near Zlobin, Belarus, when they noticed something unusual. There was a swarm of insects on the water's surface. To prove just how bad this was, they took off their caps and held them just over the water as the boat moved. When they showed the caps to the camera, they were filled with a thick cluster of insects. According to them, residents of the area have also been complaining about how insects have invaded their bus stations and playgrounds. This sudden surge of mosquitoes raises the question, what could be breeding these creatures in such large numbers? No one had answers, at least according to the one who made the post. One commenter, however, suggested that it might be mosquito season, as it is in the US and Canada, which could explain the increase. Others thought he was making a fuss over nothing, since it's not unusual to find bugs over lakes. But what do you think? Could there be other factors at play, or is it just a seasonal occurrence? A man in Thailand was out one night when he saw something odd in the sky. Take a look.
It's not a glitch in my phone. I'm zooming in. It's shining, doing something. And as far as I know, it's not a building. I don't know, guys. It's not a building. I know the buildings here. Look, this is my lighter. So this is this building. So it's very high. As far as I know, this is the highest building around here.
It was the strange glowing object that somewhat illuminated the night sky. The object kept changing colors in the sky, which is something you usually expect with fireworks when it comes to the sky. But this had nothing to do with fireworks. In fact, it was nothing he had seen before. Given how strange the thing looked, he had to reassure everyone who was watching the clip by telling them that it was not his phone glitching out. This was actually happening and he could see it with his own eyes. He asked everyone who was watching the clip if they'd seen that before, and if they had, to help him identify it. No one came out to say anything, of course, but the paranormal community was way ahead of them in terms of analysis and conclusion. They had concluded that this had to be a UFO. How else were they going to explain footage that shows an object pulsing and shifting colors in a way that seems almost otherworldly? It's very understandable. The phenomenon was too distinct and persistent to be easily explained away as a common occurrence or a technological malfunction. But then again, this is the internet era and people are capable of faking things. So what do you think? Could this be an authentic UFO sighting, or is there a more mundane explanation for this strange glowing object? Share your thoughts in the comments section.
Shining, doing something. And as far as I know, it's not a building. I don't know, guys, it's not a building. I know the buildings here. Look, this is my lighter. So this is this building. So it's very high. As far as I know, this is the highest building around here. And that thing is doing stuff, changing colors up there. I don't know. UFO. I don't know, guys. Anyone from Pattaya know what this is? John Tien? Looks kind of weird to me. Standing very still.
This is another footage of a YouTuber who ventured into an abandoned church to check it out. If you're regular on this channel, then you know things didn't go exactly as planned. Instead of a supernatural encounter, he stumbled on something quite disturbing. Tombs, tempered tombs. The curious YouTuber got a closer look at the tombs, and in the broken coffins were the remains of the deceased on display. This is usually the work of tomb raiders who open tombs to steal jewelry and anything of value in them. Creepy, I know. Although this is not as scary as the previous footage, it's still very creepy with all those bones lying there exposed. Don't you think so? Notice that many places considered haunted are in remote areas of town. Well, this next footage follows a similar trajectory, which might prove that there is indeed a correlation. During the early hours of the night, a man known for his curiosity stumbles upon a location not recommended for a visit, a place known as Dead Doll Lane. If the name doesn't already give it away, the vicinity is filled with numerous dolls, some hanging, others dismantled or even destroyed. A few are caught in the fences along the road. Unfazed by his findings, he continues his investigations. Myths surrounding these dolls suggested they house evil spirits or perhaps even demons. But let's ponder, are these locations truly overtaken by so-called evil spirits and demons, or could they be regular spirits clinging to the perceived homes and attaching themselves to the new occupants of the property? Whatever your answer, there are individuals who've assumed the role of blinding these spirits to dolls like those featured in the footage. A few of these bound spirits become problematic and are consequently banished to the lane you see. What do you think, though? Are there merits to these myths, or are they simply old wives' tales being passed on from one generation to the other? Share your thoughts or experiences, if any, with us.
While on a boat ride in Costa Rica, a woman captured something extraordinary.
Bro, look at that. It's a whole head halfway underwater. That shit is crazy.
In the distance, she saw what appeared to be a giant head with half of its face submerged under the water. Naturally, this has sparked a lot of interest and speculation online. One commenter suggested that this could be a case of pareidolia, a phenomenon where the mind perceives familiar patterns like faces and random stimuli. This explanation might make sense, as natural formulations or reflections in the water can sometimes create illusions that look remarkably like human features. However, others believe this might be evidence of something more mysterious, perhaps even connected to the legends of giants. I have much to say about this, but perhaps in a separate video dedicated to giants. In the meantime, don't hold back on sharing your thoughts.
Bro, look at that. It's a whole head halfway underwater. That shit is crazy.
They always say microwaves are dangerous, but in this fast-paced age where you need to quickly warm your food or bake a DIY cake, microwaves feel like a lifesaver. However, take a look at this footage and tell me what you think about microwaves afterward.
Holy shit, guys, you've got to watch this. You've got to watch it. You've got to stay with me, watch this quickly. I'm going to turn you... Okay. Boiling water in the microwave. We're going to take the water out. Put it there, look. And we're going to test it. You watching? That is going off, look. You see that? That's out of the microwave, guys. That is going off, isn't it?
In the video, a man heats water in the microwave, takes it out, and uses a standard electromagnetic radiation EMR detector. As soon as he brings the detector close to the water, the device goes off, beeping non-stop. Even if you are like me, who doesn't know much about this stuff, you're likely to conclude that this doesn't look good. And that's what I did. I showed it to my team, and they said things like, "Imagine the amount of radiation we're exposed to from warming our food. Microwaves are incredibly convenient, but this demonstration proves we shouldn't have them in our homes." I kept going on and telling everyone we ought to be concerned and needed to make sure we didn't have radiation in our homes. I almost said this was one of the reasons for cancer. Everyone has had enough, and that's when they brought Julius in to address me. Julius, being Julius, that is the team's science whiz, looked at me and smiled. He told me he knew how I loved conspiracies, but there was actually nothing to worry about. He then explained that the type of radiation used in microwaves is non-ionizing, meaning it doesn't have enough energy to remove tightly bound electrons or ionize atoms or molecules. Non-ionizing radiation, such as microwaves, is generally considered safe and is not known to cause cancer. Seeing I was confused, he used examples. He stated that ionizing radiation like X-rays or gamma rays is the type that can cause damage to cells and DNA, leading to cancer. Microwaves don't fall into this category. I questioned him about the man's device, and he stated that standard EMR detectors are designed to measure electromagnetic fields in the environment. They could detect EMFs from various sources like electrical appliances, cell phones, and other electronic devices. If an EMR detector beeps when brought near heated water, it might be detecting residual heat or steam rather than electromagnetic radiation. EMR detectors are not typically sensitive to heat or steam, so this could indicate a misunderstanding or misuse of the device. He also added that the video seems to misinterpret what the EMR detector is measuring. The beeping might be due to other environmental EMFs or a malfunction of the detector. It made me go back to the comments section of the clip, and most of the science whiz on our platforms was saying the same thing. Some even stated that the bowl might be the reason for the beeps. Now, what he said makes a lot of sense, so I'm tempted to believe him. But guys, what if Julius turned on us? What if the microwave companies and the government paid all the science guys to say this? Should I be worried, or am I just being paranoid? You tell me.
That is going off, look. You see that?
Next, we have a video clip that reveals the remains of a dinosaur, specifically a T-Rex in the heart of the woods. The uploader had the paranormal and dinosaur enthusiasts community believing that he had indeed filmed a T-Rex. As you'd expect with such a revelation, it was met with debates as well as a lot of skepticism. But could he be telling the truth? Well, if any living dinosaurs indeed remained from the tumultuous events millennia ago, this capture might just be the evidence many needed. I mean, if you take a closer look, you'd see flesh, meaning it's a fresh kill. As the debates raged on, the uploader had an epiphany and came online to clarify all misconceptions. In fact, he revealed the footage originated from a German museum theme park. The park had fashioned a replica of a deceased T-Rex, simulating its appearance after gradual decomposition and becoming part of the earth. It was meant to be an educational tool, but the uploader saw an opportunity to get rich and famous. Unfortunately for him, he was called out and came out to apologize to the community and all who believed it. But do you think he should be let off on such an easy note? Talking of something sinister, this structure was found in the woods. Its architecture is undeniably strange. The structure consists of numerous tree branches intricately intertwined, and there's an opening that resembles a doorway leading into the structure. I'm not sure what led this individual to venture into the woods at night, but this just screams monster's lair to me, and the presence of this person feels more like an intrusion than an adventure. Looking at the structure, you can tell that this is not man-made because the broken branches around the structure look like they were snapped out of place, while humans would have used equipment to clean-cut them. If it's not human, then whatever built this must be pretty intelligent. At first, I thought it could be a hunter's blind, but there's no way human arms could snap those trees off the ground. Could this be the work of Bigfoot? Could the whole structure be a Bigfoot lair or another undiscovered and much bigger creature? You tell me.
The next one is this perplexing clip that has surfaced online, showcasing a woman defying gravity as she stands upside down on the side of a building.
Tweaking right now, real talk. I don't know what she's doing, but she got a lot in her mind, bro. It's weighing her down, real talk. God damn.
The footage has left viewers baffled, pondering the possibility of such a feat in the realm of physics. Upon closer inspection, however, it becomes evident that this display is not merely a physical marvel, but rather a product of digital manipulation. While the illusion is strikingly convincing, our in-house video editor believes this is more likely the result of advanced editing techniques rather than a demonstration of supernatural abilities.
She's tweaking right now, real talk. I don't know what she's doing, but she got a lot in her mind, bro. It's weighing her down, real talk. God damn.
Still on strange things in the sky, we move all the way to Kentucky.
There you go. Check it. Check it out. There it is. Beautiful. Scary at the same time.
You want my phone? You want
Yeah.
Look at that.
A group of friends were out one night when they spotted something strange in the sky. There were two unusual celestial bodies. One was the moon, the other was a red planet-like object positioned behind it. This red planet-like thing in the sky looked pretty close to the Earth. Not only that, this red planet was also rotating, which is weird. The one recording was very sure and very convinced that he was looking at the planet Nibiru. There was further speculation that this planet could be the reason for the recent surge in UFO and UAP sightings. A few years ago, I would have jumped on the bandwagon and asked the government to tell the truth. But if this is true, and there was really a planet that large close to our planet, we could see it too, right? I mean, everyone would have noticed it. Aside from that, we wouldn't see it rotating like it is now, since our planet would also be rotating too. Unless, of course, this is rotating too fast. Don't even get me started on the damage the gravitational pull from both planets would cause. Based on this evidence, I, along with all the science whizzes out there, call hoax on this clip. If you think Julius taught me everything I am saying, you're right. If you also think I learned and told you everything because I am an innate genius, you're also right. But what do you think of the whole thing?
Now look at that. See this? Couldn't see it at first with my naked eye because I'm trying to look at the moon and the camera at the same time. Well, check that out. Look at that.
Next, we visit Japan, where a driver in Tokyo has a spooky tale to share. While on his late-night rides, the car's security set inside captured something disturbing. As the driver enters the tunnel, the security footage reveals the manifestation of a strange figure in the passenger seat. The apparition, however, vanishes as soon as the driver exits the tunnel. The pattern repeats in another tunnel, with the figure reappearing, its features becoming clearer. It appears to have a pale face, long messy hair, and a feminine appearance. The ghostly passenger appears to be a woman. Despite the spectral presence, the figure does not pose any harm to the driver, simply sitting in the dark and disappearing upon reaching a brighter area. But who or what could she be? Could it be one of his passengers who had met her untimely fate on the road with him, or could it be a loved one keeping him company on his night job? The mysteries of the natural world never cease to amaze. In this intriguing footage, a strange creature is seen moving on a rock. Initially, I thought it was a fish, but as the camera moved closer, it appeared that I had no idea what this creature was. It is orange in color and long. It has hair on its body and tiny legs that move like centipedes. Could it be a new species, perhaps an undiscovered life form, or a visitor from the depths of the unknown, here to perplex and intrigue? Share your thoughts on this. Another intriguing piece of footage has emerged, this time from a graveyard. What makes a graveyard so interesting, you ask? Well, there was smoke emanating from the area, yet there was no visible fire.
Вот еврейское кладбище в Дербенте. А вот тут странно загорелось.
The sight of smoke rising from a graveyard may naturally evoke thoughts of the supernatural. After all, who would be setting fires in a cemetery? However, one insightful commenter proposed a different perspective. It's possible that this mysterious smoke is not the result of nefarious activities, but rather a cultural practice. In some traditions, people light incense at graveyards as a means of warding off negative energy or paying respects to the departed. Let's hope that this explanation holds true and that the smoke is indeed the product of a benign ritual rather than something more sinister. Someone in the original post also made this comment. The thing here is, none of my team members can understand or translate, so we can't confirm or disprove this. If you can, we'd like to hear from you.
Вот, говорит, еврейское кладбище в Дербенте. А вот тут страна загорелась.
Fish that looks like a fish but isn't a fish at all. Confused? Well, that's exactly what the Chinese government was expecting and counting on when they created what you're seeing on your screen.
可以，哎，这个可以，刚才这老师说了，就跟着去这个探测，看间谍嘛，看间谍，然后跑出去游完了再游回来，电能放多长时间啊？
Still confused? Believe it or not, that's a drone. Yes, a realistic underwater drone that has been designed and built in the form and shape of a fish. The developers of the drone state that its battery is capable of lasting for roughly 6 to 8 hours. If it had been developed by normal scientists, I would have said it was for research purposes, but given its military origins, it can only be one thing, or a couple of military-related things. Espionage, stealth missions, and other things I should definitely not be saying out loud. Someone on one of the platforms where this was shared made this profound statement. It does sound funny, but when you think about it, that's a possibility. Anyway, let's see what the future holds with this invention. But what do you guys think?
可以，哎，这个可以，刚才这老师说了，就跟着去这个探测。
There are stories of how animals used to be double or triple their size now in ancient times. Fossil records reveal the existence of colossal creatures like the megalodon shark and prehistoric mammals. The reduction in the size of modern animals has been linked to several factors such as environmental changes, adaptations, and evolutionary processes. But this footage right here might be proof that there are still some creatures who might have skipped evolution and other factors. In the video, someone finds a massive crab claw. Now, to give you a sense of scale, when the person put their hand next to it, the claw is more than 3 times the size of their hand. As fascinating as this may seem, it's quite alarming. If a crab claw is this size, then the whole creature must be the size of a boat or, dare I say, a ship. I mean, if this is real, then you can't help but wonder what other giant creatures could there be out there. We haven't even wrapped our heads around the idea of Bigfoot being real. Then this, a giant crab? What's next? A kraken? In the quiet night skies of Kentucky on December the 21st, 2023, an unsettling phenomenon unfolded. A face, complete with a nose, closed eyes, and a mouth, appears out of nowhere, startling the family that recorded the footage. The presence of the face was so pronounced, making the dogs a bit uneasy. Once this hit the internet, everyone was trying to explain what it could be. Some suggested it might be of Project Bluebeam, a theoretical conspiracy involving the projection of holographic images onto the sky to manipulate public perception. In the spirit of entertaining wild ideas, let's consider and accept this. I mean, there are other possibilities. While you might be tempted to say no, one stands out to me. The whole thing is a complete hoax. That might make me sound like a skeptic, but it's the gospel truth. My truth may, however, be different from yours, so let us know what you think of this face in the sky. So, I've seen a lot of strange bird behaviors in my day, but never have I seen this. Believe it or not, that's a woodpecker and it appears to be frozen in motion. Why? I wasn't exactly sure, and the comments section of the original post was crazy. Take a look at this comment. While this was funny, it didn't solve the mystery, so being the researcher I am, I had to do some research, and boy was it worth it. It turns out that there are woodpecker species that freeze whenever they're threatened. They can remain motionless against the trunk of a tree and will not return to normal activities for up to 10 minutes. It's possible that the woodpecker noticed the man and froze out of fear. Well, that's the only working hypothesis I have right now. Also, I felt this might be a downy woodpecker, but another person in my team states it looks like the lesser spotted woodpecker. I can't say for sure which it is, but the woodpecker experts here can help us. Either way, I'm glad I saw this clip because I learned something new. What about you? Believe me when I say I've seen some strange things in my day, but this next clip has me stunned. Take a look. First off, we're not told who recorded this clip, where they recorded it, and why they were recording in the first place. The only thing we know is they were exploring the depths and came across a creature that was trying to escape their light. If you look closely, you'll see this creature. The team noticed this and turned off the lights. After a few seconds, they turned the lights back on and saw this creature in its full glory. I've looked at the clip several times and can't seem to make it out. Some of my team members joked that it was Godzilla, but if that was indeed Zilla, the only thing we would have been finding of that vessel, if the clip is indeed real, was its black box. Anyway, can you guys help out with analyzing this? What do you see? Is this even real at all? I'll be reading your comments. If possible, start with the word analysis to make it easier to find. Thank you. Do you like spiders? If you answered no to this question, then this next post might just scare you out of your wits. This footage was taken by a man who'd gone to the woods to enjoy the scenery. He decided to film the whole process because, well, why not? What he didn't expect, however, was to see a strange tree looking gray from a distance. Intrigued, he drew nearer to find out what was keeping this odd-looking tree gray, and what he saw left him speechless. I mean, how do you explain the sight you're seeing? A tree covered in cobwebs? Surely there must be a logical explanation for it, and truly there is. I've shared it on this channel before. Who can remember it? If you do remember the explanation I gave, leave a comment and start with "I remember" in cap lock so we can give you a befitting acknowledgement. If you haven't seen the video before, this might be the best time to revisit our previous videos because we've really got a special surprise for whoever remembers this. This footage was recorded with the camera focused on the rear view mirror of a car that was being driven on a deserted road that was sandwiched by woodland. While driving, the driver spared a glance at the monitor in the car and everything seemed normal at first, but in a few moments, something strange began to move from a distance. As the thing got closer, it started to take form. It bore an uncanny resemblance to a cryptid. Two flailing arms came into view as the creature, now sprinting toward the car, became more discernible. This frightened the driver, who sped out of the place without turning to look back. What do you think that was? A weird person running out of the forest? A Bigfoot? Or something far more sinister? Share your thoughts with us. A passenger on a plane flying over Nevada shared this fascinating footage of a light show on the ground below. At first glance, one might mistake these lights for luminous entities floating in the desert landscape. However, after a lot of digging around, I came across a comment that provided an alternative explanation. The individual stated that this was probably recorded just above the solar station in Nevada. If that's the case, then it would explain the light show. It would just be sunlight being reflected from solar panels on the ground. While the logical explanation seems plausible, the allure of mystery still lingers. Could there be more to these lights than meets the eye? With the desert's reputation for the unexpected, who's to say for certain? Most of the time, we say we're scared of ghosts, creatures, and cryptids, but we often forget that sometimes humans can be more terrifying than any other predator out there. In this chilling footage, a woman is seen opening her apartment door as the lights flicker. She looks up at the security camera above, perhaps sensing something amiss. As she opens the door, we see she has a young girl with her. They're just about to enter when suddenly a man rushes in, dragging the woman inside. Moments later, he comes back out and drags the child inside too. The video leaves us in suspense as we don't know what happened to them. At the end, you can see the woman's legs showing at the edge of the door, a haunting image that hints at something dangerous. Be safe out there. Humans can be the most dangerous creatures of all. For our final footage of this episode, let's take a look at footage that is both alarming and also capable of keeping you up at night. If you're jumpy, this is going to be a roller coaster ride for you. This YouTuber visited an abandoned bunker he'd been to before on 2 occasions, but never had a strange encounter. However, this third time did it for him. Like they say, the third time is a charm. As he was inspecting the empty bunker, you see a piece of wood lift and fall, sending a chilling sound echoing through the bunker. The once confident adventurer almost abandoned his seeing as he bolted straight out of the entrance. After he calmed down from the scare, he went back to look further, but this time he didn't notice the next encounter until he was reviewing the footage. There, in the eerie hallway, a dark figure pops up and disappears again. This guy was the only one present, so what was that? A ghost or evil spirit? You tell us. While it's common to witness animals perching on trees as if it were an everyday marketplace affair, I'm still utterly flabbergasted. It's the second time I've been proven wrong. Goats are exceptional climbers too. The location of this video clip remains unknown, yet it's clear the camera was strategically positioned to capture this astounding sight. White goats scaling an impressively tall palm tree. That alone doesn't suffice. It raises questions about whether these goats are specifically trained or controlled to perform this feat. Could the recorder have inadvertently placed the camera upside down? Well, forgive me for sounding skeptical, but the palm tree stands upright except for the apparent slant or curvy posture to it. Did I just describe a tree as being curvy? Oh, forgive me, but you get the idea, don't you? Either way, coming back to the video, if you know anything about goats, it's that they love to climb. I know that. All the members of the team know that. But it's simply hard to believe climbing palm trees was simply a part of their resume. Wild. This man was holding a pale-faced mask with dark circles around haunting eyes and black lips. He had a face filter on, and as soon as he smiled, the mask also appeared to smile, giving it a terrifying expression. Just look at how freaked out the man is. Despite how terrifying it looks, many people are not convinced that this is real. It seemed that the face filter picked up the mask, which is why it appeared to smile. Technology can sometimes create eerie and unexpected results, adding a touch of the supernatural to our everyday lives. What do you think of this, and what would you have done if you saw a mask smile like that? A subscriber sent in an intriguing picture. They mentioned that a friend had discovered a strange-looking creature embedded in a rock. Creature appears to be a tiny humanoid with wings. The creature was dried up and stuck to one side of the rock, while the other rock had an outline of its shape. Based on everything science has taught us and discovered, there are no creatures like this. When we stepped away from science, however, this falls in line with what we could commonly refer to as a fairy. It must have been there for a long time, as the fairy-like figure was completely dried and preserved in the rock's imprint. While this sounds interesting, we can't ignore the elephant in the room. Is this really real, or is this an elaborate hoax meant to mislead us? Share your thoughts.
Believe me when I say the skies over Motherwell, Scotland certainly know how to put on a show. This footage showcases a luminous spectacle resembling a sparkly object dancing in the night sky, leaving a trail of light in its wake, but it leaves behind the question, what could it be? Some suggest the possibility of fireworks, known for their shimmering and sparkling effects. Others also suggest extraterrestrial involvement, attributing the spectacle to the work of aliens. The idea of an otherworldly presence often arises when explained phenomena occur, so that's not surprising. On a more whimsical note, some have entertained the notion of a fairy or a human-sized Tinkerbell enchantingly gracing the night sky with a magical performance. While this remains the most bizarre of theories, if we have giant crabs, then this theory could very much be true, don't you think? In the calm stillness of the night, a luminous anomaly pierces the sky, an object resembling a luminous rocket ascending through the darkness. The questions start swirling. Is it a spacecraft launching into the great unknown, a meteor putting on a fiery show, or perhaps something else entirely? No one can say for sure, but what's your take on this glowing rocket in the night sky? A celestial event, a man-made wonder, or maybe a touch of cosmic magic?
A woman recently realized something strange about her dog's eyes and decided to upload online seeking answers. Take a look. Someone in my team thought this was possession, but after a lot of teaching from Julius, the conclusion is that they looked glazed over. I feel it's important to note that the person was not me. Back to the dog. This phenomenon can apparently occur in dogs for various reasons, often related to health, age, or eye conditions. This image was, however, uploaded on one of our paranormal platforms, and it has sparked a range of theories and arguments. Some people speculate that the glazed eyes might indicate something more sinister, such as a shapeshifter or skinwalker. These are creatures from folklore believed to have the abilities to transform into animals. Some also think the glazed appearance could simply be due to the woman shining a light directly into the dog's eyes, which can cause a reflective or glazed look. Now the question is, who's right, the speculators or Julius? Share your thoughts. These kinds of sightings are often attributed to the legendary Bigfoot. Given the sheer size of the prints, if they were made by a human, it would have to be an extraordinarily large individual. The depth and clarity of the impression suggest that whatever made them was incredibly heavy, further adding to the intrigue. Many locals are convinced that these tracks are definitive evidence of Bigfoot, a creature of folklore that has captivated imaginations for generations. However, skeptics continue to argue that it could be a clever hoax or the result of natural phenomena. The size and shape of the prints, though, continue to baffle and fascinate everyone who sees them. What do you make of these colossal footprints? Could this be the elusive Bigfoot, or is there a more mundane explanation?
Still in Asia, let's go to Shenyang, China. A peculiar phenomena caught the attention of numerous onlookers, a mysterious pillar of light stretching into the sky. The scene gathered a crowd eager to capture the enigmatic occurrence on camera. Even experts, upon analyzing the spectacle, found themselves at a loss for a definitive explanation. Various theories were proposed by those witnessing the event. Some speculated that it could be an unusual cloud formation, while others considered the possibility of water vapor contributing to the optical display. Despite collective efforts to decipher the nature of the phenomena, a concrete answer remains a mystery. The unidentified pillar of light stands as a captivating and unexplained occurrence, leaving both spectators and experts intrigued by its enigmatic presence. A puzzling video emerges on Instagram, drawing the gaze of intrigued onlookers. In the footage, a strange dark object is seen cruising through the sky. As it moves, something even stranger appears from the opposite direction, a glowing orb. But the orb moves faster than the dark object. As the radiant orb and the dark object come together, an incredible transformation unfolds. The dark entity seems to be swallowed by the glowing sphere, making the sphere bigger and glow brighter. The now glowing orb appears to shrink as it continues its journey forward until, poof, it vanishes. Can someone explain what we just saw? You don't need to be a scientist to know this isn't natural, but that doesn't automatically mean you know what it could be. This is so unbelievable that many have called the footage fake. What do you also think?
This bird clearly has an eye for design, as the makeover is quite striking. Parrots are known for their intelligence and playful nature, but this one seems to have taken it to the next level. After a little reading around, it turns out the bird felt the man's head was bare and not good looking. It then took upon itself to decorate it. Apparently birds only do this with someone they feel is one of them. In human language, this is just like saying, I love you, and boy would I give you anything from Pickles, my orange cat, to show this level of affection to me. Next, we have another pair of Bigfoot enthusiasts who set out one night into the well-known Bigfoot hotspots. Given the time that they were going out of their exploration, they brought a heat sensor along. There was no way Bigfoot was going to escape their sight. And surely enough, while they were out there, they caught a heat signature on their device. Soon after, they noticed a pair of glowing eyes in the distance, seemingly stalking them from afar. The enthusiasts firmly believed that those bright eyes belonged to a Bigfoot. Unfortunately, the creature fled before they could get good footage, leaving them with just the image of the glowing eyes. But what do you think? Could that really have been a Bigfoot, or is it something else entirely? Share your thoughts.
I don't know. It's like something... I don't... You gotta watch this video.
This footage was taken at night and shows a mysterious golden light in the sky that keeps flickering. The light seems to enlarge and then become smaller, repeating this process throughout the entire video. As the camera focuses on the light, it becomes clear that its behavior is unusual. It doesn't move like a plane or a helicopter, and the flickering pattern is too irregular to be a star or a planet. The way it changes size also adds to the intrigue, making it appear as though it's pulsing or breathing. So what could this be? Some people insist it's a UFO, given its strange and unpredictable behavior. The changing size and flickering could be seen as evidence of an extraterrestrial craft, perhaps using technology that we don't understand. Before you call it fake, some in the comments section of the original post believe they have seen it too.
Oh, whoa.
What the fuck is that?
This footage was taken by an observer in the dark of the night. A strange-looking object with lights on, it was spotted in the sky. The object itself is not visible, only the lights on it can be seen, making it difficult to determine exactly what it is. The lights appear to be arranged in a pattern that suggests a structured form, but the darkness obscures any definitive shape or details. Some people believe it's a UFO, pointing to the unusual formation and behavior of the lights as evidence of something otherworldly. Skeptics, however, think it might be a blue beam projection, a technology purported to create realistic holograms in the sky. What are your thoughts?
What the fuck is that?
Now let's take a look at a very controversial subject. We all know that Joe Biden is the President of the United States. However, recently there have been things about the president that don't quite add up. In the video, a man is standing on a stage with other dignitaries behind him, including the president. The man turns his back and shakes everyone's hand, but something unusual happens. The president goes in for another handshake, but the man does not respond, leaving him looking confused. Many people are saying that President Biden might have dementia, which could explain his behavior in this instance. Some also think he's a clone that's not exactly normal. What do you guys think? Say goodbye to having fake teeth after losing your natural ones. Finally, I can have new teeth. Wow, I didn't mean to say that out loud. Pretend you didn't hear that. Scientists have developed a groundbreaking tooth regrowth medicine, the first of its kind. This innovative treatment is set to be tested in September 2024 at Kyoto University Hospital. The medicine will first be tested on healthy individuals, followed by patients with a congenital tooth deficiency to confirm its safety and effectiveness, with the goal of marketing it by 2030. It works by deactivating the USAG1 protein to enable tooth growth. This treatment could benefit people with congenital tooth absence as well as those who have lost teeth due to cavities or injuries. I'm not going to pretend to fully understand the exact science behind it, but imagine the possibility of regrowing your own teeth instead of relying on implants or dentures. This breakthrough would revolutionize dental care and improve the quality of life for countless people. I don't know about you, but I can't wait for this to be fully out. 2030 all of a sudden feels too far, and before you conclude, this has nothing to do with my accidental spill of too much info at the beginning of this clip. Thank you very much, and with that, we move on to the next clip. Many people believe that an ancient sea monster still lurks in the depths of the Norway Ocean, hidden beneath the waves. This belief was only fueled when a peculiar image surfaced during a deep-sea research expedition showing a massive, bizarre creature with a fish-like tail unlike anything seen before. This video was taken by a group of tourists out in Norway, standing on a high cliff gazing out over the ocean. When they spotted this, a long, shiny object was slowly moving through the water, almost slithering with a calculated rhythm. It seemed unnatural. As they watched in awe, the long creature began to turn, and then, as if straight out of a legend, it split in two. Could they have witnessed two massive sea creatures interacting with each other in the depths of the ocean? Is this proof that something ancient and unknown is still roaming the waters? Aaron believes so, but what do you also think? If you've ever been in a situation where someone suddenly falls unconscious, knowing what to do is crucial. While most people would immediately think of shaking the person or calling for help, there's an ancient Chinese practice that might just help in these situations. In this video, a man is seen sitting unconscious on a trail, unresponsive, despite attempts to wake him by a concerned woman. After trying to shake him awake to no avail, she uses an acupuncture technique known as GV26, Governing Vessel 26. This involves pressing her thumb on the point located between the nose and upper lip. A few seconds later, remarkably, the man regains consciousness. GV26, often called the revival point, has been used in traditional Chinese medicine to stimulate the body's energy flow and wake a person who has fainted. While this technique shouldn't replace medical care, it's an interesting ancient method that's been around for centuries. Next time you find someone in a similar situation, try and administer that as first aid. Hippos are notoriously aggressive animals, and even on their best days, they aren't to be trifled with. Their sheer size, territorial nature, and surprising speed make them one of the most dangerous animals in the wild. A group of tourists learned this firsthand while on a boat ride near a large hippo. At first, the massive creature seemed merely annoyed by their presence, snapping its jaws a few times in warning. But then it escalated. The hippo charged toward the boat, creating waves as it surged through the water. Thankfully, it stopped its pursuit before catching up to them. Though the people on the boat looked calm, I'm sure they were freaking out inside because, just look at this. Would you dare venture that close to a hippo? And with that, we end today's episode. Thanks for staying with us. Before you go, are there clips and videos you think we should have featured by now that we haven't? Well, the good news is you can share them with us and we'll post them crediting you. Please send any such footage, including ones you recorded yourself, to us via classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. We'll do our thing and include it in our next episode. We can't wait to receive what you have. Share this with someone you love, and I'll see you in the next one.